Gugu, lovely to see you.
Nice to see you.
This is a terrific British movie with such an amazing cast, and I think one of the key things about this film is it's able to blend so many different elements of this story. What was it like for you being a major part of that story, but knowing that it was going to be layered in that way?
Well, I just thought it was such a brilliant story and such a brilliant script, and I didn't know anything about Miss World in 1970, but I just thought it was such a fantastic year. The fact that it was the year that the women's liberation movement stormed the ceremony at the same time as the first woman of colour winning the competition. I just thought that was so intersectional and brilliant and so resonant for our times. So yeah, I was just so thrilled to be a part of it.
Did you ever worry that the movie might not be able to square both, as in be able to give enough airtime to both stories, so both the women protesting and also making sure that your character was given, you know, a backstory and we understood her? Does that make sense?
Well, I really trusted Philippa Lowthorpe, our director, and you know, she just really had such a strong vision for the film. And I think in terms of firmly rooting the film in the female gaze, I think when you look at the original footage of it, it's very misogynistic. And seeing Bob Hope's language and behaviour, how he refers to the women, how they're made to turn their bottoms to the audience for a better appraisal. And I think what I loved about the film is that Philippa decided to include those moments, but from the women's perspective. And I think that that was really powerful in terms of reclaiming how that story is told. So I wasn't worried. I was excited. I think you know, it's great to reclaim these stories.
It was weird watching the nudity in that way. Like, even though it's not, you know, it's done in the right way, you still sort of are as a man, like, sort of going back in your seat, because you do feel embarrassed that it ever existed in that way. Do you know what I mean? That
yeah,
it was
well,
ever...
I mean, there's no nudity in the film. They
No.
are wearing swimming costumes.
Yeah.
But I think it's just that they're being objectified in that way. And as they, you know, walk in, you know, you hear their measurements are read. And so I think they are being dehumanized in a sense.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The parade is what really gives you the creeps, isn't it? This idea that, like, that we would do that to another human being on a stage is just kind of really... It's arresting to see,
well,
and it's vital, it's important, but it
Yes.
still makes you kind of go, ugh.
Well, it makes you realise how far we've come, I think. You know, the fact that we are uncomfortable about it now. But I think, you know, there's still a long way to go as well in terms of, you know, equality for women. So I think it's galvanising for us to see that, you know, looking back at those women and seeing the real women in the film gives you a sense of legacy. And I hope when women watch the film, they'll feel inspired to keep fighting.
Yeah. And it's really funny, we should say that too about
Yeah.
the movie. It's brilliantly written, it's very witty,
Yeah.
and it's really clever. What about a Mr. World? Has that ever existed? I don't know if it has.
I don't know if it has. Maybe we should get that going.
I know. Would it? What would it be? It would have to exist.
Well,
in
I
a
think
sort of...
Mr. World is basically, it's the patriarchy. It's sort of already been the system that we've all been socially conditioned to exist in anyway. So maybe it's
Right.
not required.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Sort of as a greater metaphor, it is there. Just
Yeah.
we haven't.
We just call it normal life.
Yes. Okay. All right. And just talking about the cast, it's incredible. Keira is fantastic. In fact, my colleague interviewed Keira Knightley for this movie, and she's just making great career choices, isn't she? Just picking really interesting projects. Do you talk to her in on professional terms like that? You sort of share ideas about things that you want to do and things like that? Is that how it works behind the scenes?
Well, I'd never worked with Keira before, and you know, I was so excited to be in this film with her, and I think we have one pivotal scene together, which is so powerful, and I think a really important scene in the film. And there's obviously Jessie, Buckley, Leslie Manville, Phyllis Logan, you know, an incredible British cast of women, and Keeley Hawes as well. So yeah, we haven't had a chance to catch up really since the filming, but I'm excited to see them all at the premiere.
Oh, okay, that will be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, look, great to meet you, and good luck with the movie. I think a lot of people are going to enjoy it, and it's so eye-opening. I had no idea about the story, so I think one of the great things about my job is when you're introduced to something that you didn't know happened. I think that's really important.
Yeah, me too. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Oh, wow! Yeah!
The stuff in the school at home.